Most of today's critical global humanitarian problems can be traced to the evolution of a parasitic global system engaged in the relentless, short-sighted accumulation of money and power. Very few can be pinned either on external cataclysms or dastardly individuals. Rather, they result ultimately from emergent interactions of social macrostructures within a dehumanized and dehumanizing system, overpowering individual humanity. The most lucid diagnosis of this situation, in my view, is a concept articulated by philosopher Jürgen Habermas, the system's colonization of the life world, that lived, meaningful social reality we inhabit as human beings seeking a stable, purposeful existence. Driven by money and power, the system hijacks the humanistic values of the life world. Sustainable solutions are required to restore and fortify the life world. What can ethnomusicology contribute? My response is music for global human development. Music is a powerful social technology for rehumanized connection. Music for global human development draws on social theory, ethnomusicological theory, and participatory action research. In the phenomenological tradition, Habermas recognizes the life world, the realm of lived intersubjective reality, as the locus of meaning and morality, where relationships of I-you, I-thou, or even we may displace I-it. Herein lies the possibility for humanistic action. For Habermas, the life world is sustained by rational, communicative action, fostering authentic intersubjective relations and understanding. But the system deploys meaning solely as an instrumental strategy for accumulating wealth and power. Mapped into unequal system positions, people's actions and even thoughts are constrained. System communications come to mediate relationships, inducing division and dehumanization. The system provides an essential stability function in the modern world. Crises only result when the system comes to colonize the life world, threatening human value. Percolating ever more deeply into its sustaining life world, the system threatens its own existence as well. We cannot transform the system directly, but we can transform our life world, and thus the kind of system it will support. One cannot overemphasize the urgency of rehumanization. As techno-optimism drives development funding, I reiterate that music is a powerful social technology, forging human connectivity across system-induced divisions, reweaving the social fabric. At the very core of the life world lies what I call the sound world, the epicenter of social interaction and solidarity. Here is a primary locus for the weaving and reweaving of the social fabric, especially via what I call resonance. The affective social power of communication via sound rests on 5 fundamental acoustic and psychoacoustic attributes: 3D diffusion, diffraction, masking, and vocalization of language and affect, what I call thought, feeling, in sound. In collective musicking, sound social power expands, maximizing linguistic, paralinguistic, and purely sonic expression. Collective focus, semantic ambiguity, shared associations, and sonic organization induce connection through common feeling. Music moves people and moves them together. But the affective power of sound is most intense in a sociosonic, cybernetic phenomenon I call resonance, an intensive, cognitive, affective, collective state resulting from adaptive, communicative feedback. A social network comprises a set of nodes representing subjects or social positions, plus a set of links representing social connections. These nodes and links may be purely formal and dehumanized. The minimal network is a dyad, 2 nodes connected by a link. Adding nodes, the network gets more complex. Adding links, density increases. Resonance implies communicative feedback cycles, centering on sonic flows of thought-feeling, adapting to participants and their environment, entailing mutual humanistic recognition, and transforming node to subject, link to thread. The resonating link carries and is sustained by communication of thought-feeling between its endpoints. The same resonance process unfolds in a larger communicating network. Resonance moves people and moves them together in affective convergence. Resonance has conditions, including inclusiveness, feedback channels, and flexibility, enabling individual expression. However, participation here is not limited to musical performance in the narrow sense, but rather generalized musical performance. The most powerful force for collective resonance is what we may call generalized music, sonic expressions of thought feeling fusing language, voice, and sound, expressing our common humanity to one another. This generalized music transcends music proper to include affective sound generally, and associated movement, gesture, even conversation. Resonance spins social threads, rehumanizing network links, and reweaving the warp and weft of the life world. Resonance restores the life world by reweaving the social fabric in two interlocking directions, horizontally across communities and vertically across generations. For most of human history, socio-musical resonance developed through live face-to-face interactions. But resonance can occur within and transform any social network, live or mediated. Unmediated resonance tends towards traditional music, more localized but intergenerational, supporting cultural continuity. Feedback and adaptation are rapid, but impact is narrower. Adaptation in the mediated life world is slower. Its impact is more extensive. Here, popular music can develop solidarity around key development issues, particularly among the youth. Ideally, music for global human development should reweave the warp and weft together, but many projects focus on one or the other, depending on musical style and modality of social interactions. Traditional face-to-face music for cultural continuity within a cultural group has a warp focus, and popular mediated songs oriented towards generational issues across groups has a weft focus. All this within the critical social crucible, the sound world. But resonance is not an unconditional good. Indeed, the system can exploit resonance to exacerbate division. One way to avert such an outcome is to foster resonance in inclusive global social networks, crisscrossing system-induced divisions. Music for Global Human Development aims for such inclusion and scope via participatory action research. Participatory action research is a collaborative strategy for positive social change in a community. Ideally, PAR entails egalitarian team participation. All cooperate in a grassroots action network coupled with research gauging effectiveness. Collectively, the network formulates a plan, carries it out, observes its impact, reflects on its results, then refines it, spiraling upwards. Far too many development projects inadvertently absorb system-level agendas. Being inclusive and empowering, PAR is both more ethical and more effective, building local capacity, fostering sustainable, scalable methods, and meeting real needs. PAR gathers a diverse group of participants motivated by an urgent issue into an egalitarian, open social network, crisscrossing social boundaries. Ideally, this network itself resonates with powerful shared thought feeling, transforming into a new layer of global social fabric. While the long-term objective is positive transformations in the broader community, the immediate result is the rehumanization of relationships connecting project participants themselves, erasing the boundaries that mask our common humanity. Thus, the PAR network is both means and an end in itself. I conceive of each project as being double-sided, connecting the local to a wider global, and thereby effecting humanizing social transformations, bridging local empowerment from despair to hope, and global awareness from indifference to compassion. I'd like to conclude by briefly introducing a number of double-sided Music for Global Human Development projects. Nova is lead composer for the Lebanon Mutual Aid Society in Ghana. The group performs for funerals. I first worked with Nova in 1988 when the group was vibrant. In the late 1990s and 2000s, many youth drifted away from such socio-musical traditions. Membership declined, threatening cultural continuity. Nova asked for help in producing his music. We gathered a team, recording a cassette for the local market, becoming a CD for the global market, with extensive liner notes. Here is the resonating network, including my student participants, local musicians and sound engineers, and a local radio station. Novo told me that following broadcasts of the cassette on local radio, many more members joined the group. In 2013, I attended a packed Lebanese funeral. The Budaborum Liberian refugee camp was packed with some 40,000 Liberian refugees when I first met Slaby Sene, director of a camp NGO, the Center for Youth Empowerment, in 2007. Life on the camp was very difficult, but we found a flourishing popular music scene. Some popular musicians, like S-Man and Shadow, produced in their own studios. Musicians wanted a chance to express their experiences to the wider world. We established this resonant network, connecting students, academics, musicians, producers, and an NGO. Our interactions resulted in an audio CD featuring 16 groups with extensive liner notes.
Stop the war. We are tired of seeing dead body, displaced people, refugees seeking refuge, seeing our home burning down to ashes.
Around 2012, with the return of hundreds of thousands of refugees to war-torn Liberia, sanitation services in the capital, Monrovia, were severely strained. Shadow proposed a project to raise awareness through a music video advocating for better sanitation practices, featuring local artists. We connected with various nonprofits and media organizations, both in North America and in Liberia, to produce a music video and a documentary video, and to distribute their messaging in Liberia and globally.
Sanitation.
Sanitation is what you need. So keep the area and safety clean. Always keep the dirt away. Cleanliness is next to cleanliness, yeah.
With high poverty, weak infrastructure, and scant social services compared to the South, Ghana's North suffers greatly from poor sanitation and deadly malaria. Working with Tamale's Youth Home Cultural Group, a community development group, and Ghana Health Services, we addressed these issues through live dance dramas performed in rural areas. We also carried out surveys, pre- and post-intervention, in order to gauge effectiveness. We worked in 3 villages where participants included chiefs, elders, imams, pastors, Ghana Health Service officials, and politicians. Youth Home provided a performing troupe of about 20, including 2 professional comic actors. From 2012 to 2019, the University of Alberta led a $6 million project funded by Global Affairs Canada to improve maternal and neonatal health in Ethiopia in partnership with St. Paul's Hospital in Addis Ababa. But beyond health system limitations, health challenges included cultural barriers as well. Clinics are available throughout rural Ethiopia, but husbands prefer their wives to give birth at home, which can be dangerous. Billboards raised awareness, but literacy is also a barrier. We needed a song. My friend John Kurtzer recommended Ethiopian producer and UNICEF ambassador Thomas Gobina, who readily connected us to 2 of the country's most acclaimed artists, Zeritu Kebede, who sings in Amharic, and Tadale Gemechu, singing in Oromo. Thanks to Thomas, we connected to UNICEF Ethiopia, whose staff provided invaluable assistance.
ወቅቱ ነበረ ቸኩሎ የሰው
Hawwiidhaan ture ilmoo argachuuf yaaliin geessine dhabee dhalachuu
ቢጠባበቅም ትኮራሹን ታቀፈ በድን ጨምሮ የሚስቱ
yoom milkaa'ee fi akka hawwiisaa gadda dachaatiin dhabee maatiisaa
ጧላ ሳቅ እንዲሆንላት ተስፋ ነበራት ከመጧላ ሞት ስለሆነባት አለቀሰላት
That song garnered over 700,000 views on YouTube. We also conducted a survey to gauge effectiveness. The COVID crisis has delayed our plan to distribute it through local radio networks reaching all rural areas. Our Music for Global Human Development PAR projects continue to cycle.